Straight ahead on News Channel 5 this morning, Israel attacked Iran, and we're learning the U.S. was involved in the strikes. We're following those breaking details. And a cold case no longer, how a clue in a confession solved a murder that shocked the town of Bowling Green 30 years ago. Plus, a chance to say goodbye to civil rights icon Jesse Jackson. More on his funeral procession that's making a stop in Nashville today.
This is News Channel 5 this morning. Now with breaking news.
Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people.
Now, Israel, along with U.S. forces, carried out an attack against Iran this morning. Good morning, I'm Tony Sloan. You just heard from President Trump on some of his reasons for such an attack. But this comes at a time where nuclear talks between the U.S. and Iran were not headed in a great direction. Our Eric Pointer is tracking the latest on the attacks. He joins us from the 5 Alert desk. So, Eric, these developments, they're happening as we speak.
Yeah, Tony, this is a fast-moving story. Strikes hit targets across Iran overnight, and Iran is already firing back. Here's what we know so far. The first strikes appeared to target the compound of Iran's supreme leader in downtown Tehran. Now, it was not immediately clear if he was there at the time. Smoke could be seen rising over the Iranian capital. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that the joint attack was meant to remove an existential threat posed by Iran. Now, Trump called on the Iranian people to take over their government once the strikes are finished. He also acknowledged that there could be American casualties, saying that often happens in war.
It has always been the policy of the United States, in particular, my administration, that this terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon. I'll say it again. They can never have a nuclear weapon.
Now, Iran's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard responded by launching what is called a first wave of drones and missiles targeting Israel. Now, a missile attack also targeted the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet headquarters. This situation is still developing quickly, and we are watching for any word on casualties and from responses from local lawmakers. We will bring you those updates throughout the morning as they come in. Tony?
All right, thank you, Eric. We'll make sure to stay on top of that story as we learn more from officials. But hard turn now to the check of your weather. The weather roller coaster continues. It's going to be in the 70s today and sunny to close out the month of February. But the question is, will it last? To answer that question, we bring in none other than News Channel 5 meteorologist Henry Rothenberg. So we're talking sunny conditions today, Henry?
We're going to have a good bit of sunshine there, Tony. Yeah, the mild temperatures as well. And we've got quite a mild pattern ahead. But let's talk about what's happening right now this Saturday morning across Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. As we take a look at things right now, we have got temperatures sitting right in the upper 30s to around 40 degrees. We also, as we take a look at our sky cam, this one atop the Batman building looking down towards Bridgestone, we're at 40 degrees. Wind is currently calm right now. Here's the Power 5 radars. We are not tracking any shower activity for you this morning, and really as we progress through the day, I'm not expecting to see rainfall out there. As far as the temperatures are concerned, 40s and 30s across the area, so it is a cool, refreshingly cool start. You'll want to have that jacket handy, but as you make your way out today, maybe you're going to go to one of the parks, do a picnic, looking at a great day out there. A lot of sunshine out there, temperatures climbing into the 70s, and then we'll see temperatures a bit cooler tomorrow. I'm going to have much more on that in the full forecast coming up in a bit, Tony.
All right, thank you, Henry. For 30 years, the family of Morgan Viola has lived with one question they couldn't answer. What happened to their little girl? Yesterday, investigators announced a major breakthrough piecing together what happened the day she went missing from her Bowling Green home back in 1996. Federal charges are now filed against 61-year-old Robert Froberg, who authorities say abducted and murdered that 7-year-old. A fiber in Morgan's hair was found in a stolen van, but the van was not connected to Froberg until decades later, thanks to new DNA technology. Now, investigators also revealed Froberg escaped from prison several times in the late 90s. Our Nikki Hauser will dive deeper into the timeline of his escape and Morgan's disappearance in the next half hour. Sadly, Morgan was not the only girl who went missing around that time in our area. 9-year-old Jackie Beard went missing while picking blackberries in Montgomery County just weeks before Morgan. Her body was found in nearby woods 4 months later. William Glenn Rogers was convicted in 2000 in the girl's rape and murder and was sentenced to death, but that execution date has not been set. Now, Jackie's mother is offering support to Morgan's family on this long road to justice, telling us, quote, "While I know nothing will bring our babies back, we still have a right for justice to be carried out." She says she's celebrating that the person responsible for what happened to Morgan has finally been named. Now, we also want to remember 3-year-old Lucy Meadows, who vanished in the parking lot of Rivergate Mall just one day after Morgan was kidnapped. That case remains unsolved. Well, as thousands are turning out in Chicago to pay respects to the late Reverend Jesse Jackson, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear has ordered that flags at all state office buildings be lowered to half staff today in Reverend Jackson's honor. And here in Nashville, there's going to be a caravan to commemorate Jesse Jackson. It'll start at 8:45 tonight at 2500 Clarksville Pike. That is the Lewis and Wright Funeral Home. Now, the caravan will end at Public Square Park in downtown Nashville. Now, it is fitting that Jackson's final visit to Nashville happens on the last day of Black History Month. And to close out the month, the 7th annual Nashville Black History Month Expo. It's actually happening today. Now, the 2-day celebration of Black culture and Black businesses returns to the fairgrounds of Nashville both today and tomorrow, so you can grab some food from vendors and listen to live music while celebrating and supporting Black entrepreneurs and artists. The free expo is from noon to 6 today and runs from noon to 5 tomorrow.
Someone had to explain to me that it was possible for me to do this job, even if I didn't recognize people on TV who looked like me doing the job.
Now, that was our Levi Ismail sharing his story and offering some words of encouragement to students at Isaac Liddon Middle School yesterday as part of their Black History Month presentation. He says there were other great speakers, singers, dancers, and even some poets who showcased their talents. Now, Levi left the students with this piece of advice. You have the ability to write your own story. Some great advice coming from a great journalist. Up next on News Channel 5 this morning, a former president back on Capitol Hill yesterday. We'll tell you what Bill Clinton had to say when asked about his ties to Jeffrey Epstein and his infamous files.
You are watching News Channel 5, part of the Scripps News Group.
Well, I did nothing wrong. Those words coming from former President Bill Clinton while testifying before House lawmakers yesterday about his connection to Jeffrey Epstein. They questioned Clinton about flights and photos connected to Epstein, at the same time emphasizing no one is currently accusing him of wrongdoing. Now, in his opening statement, the former president said had he known what Epstein was doing, not only would he have not flown on his private jet, he would have turned himself in and led the call for justice on his crimes.
We've been asking the former president the hard questions. To his credit, he has answered every single question. He's not taken the Fifth Amendment. He's been actually quite comfortable, and he's actually given very long, deliberate answers to all these questions.
Now, some Democrats are calling now for President Trump to testify, and there are bipartisan calls to hear from Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. Photos show both of them on Epstein's island, but neither have been charged. Still to come this morning, digging starts this week on the Music City Loop, but a historic church right next to the construction site tells us they still feel left in the dark. Why they say they have concerns. Time now 5:14 here in the Storm 5 Weather Center with meteorologist Henry Rothenberg talking about some warm conditions.
Very
in
warm.
February. What are we talking about here?
Spring-like. This does not feel like the end of February.
No.
Meteorological spring begins tomorrow. Actual spring, of course, later in the month, but when we base it off of the months, March, April, May, that would be spring, June, July, August, summer. So, look, it feels like spring, and it is the last day of February. Yesterday was certainly a warm one with temperatures that made it into the upper 60s for highs and 50s for lows. Here's what's going on as far as what we're waking up to this morning. We will look for dry and mild conditions today. Tomorrow, clouds will increase and then multiple rain chances as we head into next week. Maybe a thunderstorm or two that could mix in, but nothing too concerning at this time. Here's the Power of 5 radars on this Saturday morning with a clean sweep across Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. The temperatures out there from 47 in Hopkinsville, 46 in Murray. We've got some 30s where it's been clear in McMinnville, Crossville, Cookville, even Murfreesboro, 37, 36, Columbia with Nashville at 40, and 38 degrees in Fayetteville. Parsons showing 34 degrees right now. Our Skynet site in Clarksville is showing 42 degrees as we look at the old Customs House there. We bring you to Lower Broadway from our Acme Feed and Seed Skynet site where we have a temperature right now of 43 degrees and 37 degrees currently in Columbia as we expect to see temperatures with a good bit of sunshine ramping up today, some 30-plus degrees in many locations. Here's a look at Exact Track. I'm going to pause this at 2 this afternoon, and it looks mostly sunny across Middle Tennessee, Southern Kentucky. Dry weather expected. Rain chances well to our north, so you can see if you have plans to head out Saturday night, date night. We have got pleasant conditions. Now, clouds will increase overnight as we look at Exact Track. It should become partly cloudy, and that's how we'll start your Sunday, and then quickly turning mostly cloudy by about midday. But I think Sunday itself will be dry. I don't think the rain chances start to push in until Sunday night and Monday. So despite that mostly cloudy sky, I think we're rain-free on Sunday, right up to dinner time Sunday evening. And then as we go through the overnight, that's when we start to see the rain chances picking up. So looking ahead to Monday, plan now to give yourself a little extra time on that morning commute because the roads may be a bit slick as we have opportunities for showers courtesy of a boundary that's going to stall out around the area and just kind of meander around. That's going to keep us in this unsettled pattern for much of next week with plenty of chances for rain. It'll be one of these setups that I think the majority of us will get rain. There may be a few folks that may not see a shower, but all things considered at this time, not looking like anything too concerning. So rain accumulation with this system is not going to be overly impressive out there. We're looking at temperatures today that will top out around 73 degrees. Winds will be out of the south-southwest at about 3 miles to 8 miles per hour. In fact, right now we have got winds that have been pretty much relatively light out of the southwest. 7-day forecast. 73 today, 63 tomorrow, and then 58 with more widespread rain, considerable chances for your Monday. And then we'll have temperatures rebounding back to the 70s as we head through the upcoming week. Those overnight low temperatures getting into the 50s and 60s, so some mild air, Tony, as we head into the first week of March.
All right, thank you, Henry. Now, we've been talking about it for a while, but tunneling is finally underway on the Music City Loop. The Boring Company is sharing this video from Wednesday showing the massive drill in action. But that same day, we talked to the pastor of a historic church right next to the digging site. He tells our Aaron Cantrell that he still has some serious concerns.
For more than a century, First Baptist Church, Capitol Hill, has been a cornerstone of the Nashville community.
We are 160 years old, the oldest African-American congregation in the city.
Last year, they gained new neighbors, construction crews and equipment tied to the Boring Company's Music City Loop project. Senior pastor Shane B. Scott says concerns came quickly.
I had some concerns about what digging do to our property. I had some concerns about sinkholes. I had some concerns about how people were being employed and whether or not this project would be beneficial to this community and underserved communities.
Scott says he tried reaching both Governor Bill Lee and made some contact with the Boring Company.
Sent a letter to the governor that still hasn't been acknowledged or responded to. The Boring Company, I think, does a good dog and pony show, but they're not obligated to share anything beyond what they have to.
On Wednesday, the governor announced that TDOT and the Federal Highway Administration approved the company's lease and grading permit, clearing the way for construction. Scott says he was not surprised the project is moving forward.
It's been a cost.
Despite the church's concerns.
This governor serves a certain constituent. He is not interested in serving all of Tennessee.
He says the congregation has felt some of the blasting, but with construction moving forward, their hands are tied.
You've given us crap to eat and told us it's chocolate.
Still, Scott says it's troubling that Nashvillians have not had more of a voice.
I think it's concerning that, politics aside, that the governor has not had a conversation with this congregation.
Aaron Cantrell, News Channel 5.
Now, Aaron dug into TDOT's approval process and found that the agency conducted a review of construction plans before granting the permit. The project also requires approval from the Federal Highway Administration. Still ahead this morning, a push to get families and kids the care they need could put some kids at risk. A look at plans to open a public health clinic inside an elementary school. Well, working parents know getting your child to the doctor can be tough when you're juggling work and school schedules. But in Sumner County, the school district is testing a new approach, bringing health care to schools. Now, it's in the form of a clinic set up in an unused area of J.W. Weissman Elementary in Portland, where even those who don't go to the school can get care. For safety measures, it would have a separate, dedicated entrance with no school access.
I think the biggest complaint that I saw was that since it was open to the public, they didn't want someone to slip through and then have access to the school.
Now, there are also concerns over whether it's necessary because there is a privately run clinic across the street. Now, you can make your voice heard about the plan at the school board's next meeting. It's on March 24th. If approved, the clinic is set to open ahead of the next school year. Coming up in the next half hour of News Channel 5 this morning, Israel prepares for retaliation after joint strikes against Iran. But what does all this mean for the Americans living in that region? Plus, we're breaking down a 30-year manhunt across several states that's finally providing some answers to a devastated Kentucky community.
And we are talking about unseasonably warm temperatures for the final day of February. You're watching News Channel 5 this morning.